In the summer of 2023, two brothers, Samuel and Ignatius Derriere, were vacationing in Transylvania. One day, they spied an armadillo, a creature not indigenous to Europe. I know. You yanking my wanky? They followed the animal as it scurried into a hidden cave, and there in clay jars, the brothers found some of the oldest recordings ever known. On wax cylinders and 8-tracks, the voices spoke of lost love, ruthless enemies, and a prince of darkness who once made the world tremble. The brothers soon realized they had discovered the audio diary of Dracula. In what is believed to be the only recordings of Dracula's actual voice, experts have pieced together a story centuries old. A story that seems to continue today.
Dracula's Winkee. It's the fate of a very small thing. Dracula's Winkee.
Episode 1. The Undead Have No Retirement Plan.
Fear, the most raw of all emotions, the rawest of all instincts. Nothing is more most raw than fear. Greetings. I am Hollywood legend Chardonnay Wafflehutt. It is my privilege to narrate this long-lost, dark tale, the Hundo P. true story. And, as an old white man, a demographic facing extinction, I know fear. Superb writing, Madison. I appreciate the shade. Fear attacks like a child with a chainsaw. They don't know any better. Fear clings like the aroma of a goop candle you bought as a prank but discovered too late. Everything winds up smelling like Gwyneth Paltrow's hoo-ha. Fearmonger. Fear. Did you want to change this to 2 words so monger becomes a verb? I mean, like the fear itself mongers. No, not the same. It's okay. I knew who I was working with as soon as I saw the Fisher-Price microphone. Fear mongers, like a toilet that plays Jaws music when you sit down, pizzerias with a basement, or a grandmother who yells, "If you keep doing that, you'll go blind." There exists a being. Wall. Shit, didn't see that. There exists a being, a legendary horror who inspires fear. He has done so for centuries, and he is very real. I monger you not. Join me as the moonlight illuminates a bedroom decorated in goth chic. A woman lies in her lonely bed. Her flowing blonde hair obscures her face, but her nightie barely covers her voluptuous body. Perfectly manicured fingers bring her pleasure, as her other hand holds a paranormal romance novel, as if to channel its erotic power. The fantasy had an innocent country girl in the big city, having to choose coitus between her 2 new roommates. Trevor was a snack, a DJ who happened to be a vampire. Ricardo was a hot firefighter who happened to be a werewolf. Both were billionaires, which makes absolutely no sense why they would live with roommates, Madison, in a shitty little apartment. Help me help you. Doesn't matter, because she couldn't have both. That's not until the last chapter. written in all caps because it's so V-thirsty goals AF. What? Did I just summon Cthulhu? But for now, the Virgin chose the vampire because the werewolf only knew one position. The narrative stayed in the past tense as a moan escaped the reader's lips. Sexer. And the book fell from her hand. Fog appeared outside her balcony window. It formed into a man with arms outstretched, holding his cape like a bird of prey. The balcony door opened, and he entered. The darkness couldn't hide his dangerous sensuality. The tall, athletic build, the chiseled, handsome face, the classic widow's peak black hair.
I am Dracula.
That's the guy I was just talking about. Inspires fear? Did you guess it was Dracula? If not, what the fuck? His name is in the title of the podcast. Dracula's eyes seemed to produce their own glow as he focused on his prey, forcing her to surrender to him. At her bedside, he soaked in her beauty. She unapologetically kept her hand between her legs. Her moaning was interrupted with a whisper.
Take me. I am your slave. Please.
Dracula bared his fangs and leaned over. She remained still. He bit into her neck. He drank deep. His eyes opened wide, detecting something wrong. Suddenly, the lights turned on, and Dracula was caught draining his victim. In the light, he appeared more mature. The centuries cheated him into his 50s. A Transylvanian couple stood in the far corner. Cladu recorded with his cell phone, while Una moaned into the microphone.
Anna, we did it!
Yeah, it worked like perfect. You got it on the video?
Yeah! Debbie fooled even Dracula!
Our new sex doll will sell millions!
Dracula yanked his fangs from Debbie's rubber neck.
Anna, stop your realistic mourning. Join me in videoing our success.
I am the live streaming right now. Here he comes. Oh, a close-up.
Their elation dissipated, replaced by fear.
Oh, Futui!
Dracula approached Una, fangs bared. Always the professional, she offered a second go with Debbie the sex doll, but the vampire bit her neck. Una's body went limp as she was torn between pleasure and death. Suddenly, the king of the undead stopped. His face twisted in disgust, and he spit.
Polluted! Would it kill you to eat fresh fruit or a salad sometime?
Oh no! Not a different window!
Dracula stood in the now silent room. His bloodshot eyes looked left, right. Then he raised the microphone.
Tell me what you want, what you very, very want. I want a zig, a zig.
The vampire shook his hips for his imaginary audience, but as always, his joy was short-lived. The live stream still ran, capturing his performance. His foot crushed the cell phones. For even those who ruled the darkness have fear. The fear of one day being a joke. Deep in an ancient castle, in a basement laid a coffin. And in that coffin, Dracula lied awake, clutching his pillow. A sliver of light pierced from the outside room. Someone approached, and his eyes widened. Then all was quiet in the silence.
Hey man, you okay in there? Is that you, Juan?
Yes, your loyal friend Juan, who the listeners haven't met yet. Another rough night?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I understand. Oh, Frankenstein called while you were out.
What did he say?
Fire bad.
I'll call him back tomorrow.
Well, I'm watching Swingoolie in the living room if you can't sleep. He's showing Joan Crawford and Trog. Trog just attacked a playground full of children. Hilarious. I can rewind it.
Another moment of silence, except for me talking. Then Juan left his best buddy alone. The light clicked off, leaving Dracula in complete darkness.
Juan, leave the light on, please.
It went back on.
Thank you.
Dracula popped a raspberry Sasquatch chokeweed gummy in his mouth. He sought comfort by focusing on the yearbook-like messages etched into the inside of his coffin lid. In various handwritings, "Keep on truckin', brother, Blackula," and "My eyes are up here, Vampirella," and "Mine too, Christopher Lee," and "You own my mortal soul, Miley Cyrus." The final etching was not much to read compared to the others. It was a heart. Germany, 1893. And the initials, GVS. Dracula gently touched it with his finger. He let his mind drift back to a far better time. The streets of the quaint town were deserted, for the locals knew what evil lurked in the moonlight. Doors had crosses painted on them, and the windows were strung with garlic. Yet, there was one who prowled the shadows, who knew the Prince of Darkness too well.
Peekaboo, mein Schnitzelgruben.
Despite his superhuman senses, the assassin got the best of the vampire lord once again. Gracefully, she leapt from the darkness in her own special fashion blend of black leather and gem magic flair. She owned more whips than Hillary Clinton's S&M supply dealer, and her name was honey off the lips. Gretchen Von Stroodlehymen. Her sudden appearance made Dracula uncomfortable. Was it his heart blocking his ability to detect her? It did nothing to strengthen his trust in her motives. Dracula casually flipped his cape over his broad shoulders. Younger, dreamier, back when the world was his to abuse, his long jet black hair blew in the wind, in slow motion, because he was Dracula, damn it!
What is it you want from me now, Gretchen?
I want to give you wood.
Wood? You'll never drive a stake into my heart.
Aha! Ha. I have no intention to kill you, Vlad Dracula. Nein. My heart, that Schwarzenegger, craves you like never before. Do not taunt me, my lord. We must do das Humpty Dance.
The dangerous vixen wrapped her body around his. Suddenly, Dracula was a young lad of 15 again, helplessly mortal, experiencing the night he lost his virginity to Betty White. Gretchen ripped open his partially, already unbuttoned frilly-girly shirt to expose his chiseled alabaster tan torso.
Feel the talents of my Achtung.
Surrender, you undead demon!
Jesus Christ, who are you bought and you sacrificed?
Dracula turned to see a dozen holy warrior nuns equipped with spears made of wood from the one true cross, rosary bead lassos, and recording of Keanu Reeves trying to do an English accent.
I think I've seen enough strange things already. A faceless driver jumping through a blue inferno. I know where the bastard sleeps.
What kind of kink do you think I'm into, Vlad? I'm not into group sex, and I certainly don't like the pussy.
Oh no, my dear, these women are not here to join us in our sexual escapades. It seems my old enemies have found me.
He was correct. The gratification from a mouthful means would go unfulfilled, for Dracula stood face to face with the secret sisterhood of the divine traveling yayas. The rabid group of nuns surrounded Dracula. He hissed as he slid Gretchen behind him, for he knew who led the church's first line of defense against horny vampires. She stepped forward, slapping her ruler of reprimand against the palm of her hand. The alpha nun, the mofo superior, Sister Agnes. Born old and wrinkled, she had lived for over a century. She smirked, enjoying the fact that her woman mustache intimidated so many. At her side was her enforcer, her sister Muscle. Not only as strong as John Cena, but looked like him too. Blessed with limited capacity for thought and numbed by staring at her cell phone for 26 hours a day, she was impossible to possess or mind control, but there was no one home. She was Flathead Kate. Turtle swim! Then, a voice that sounded like Al Pacino was fucking a rhino dominated the night. Sister Agnes spoke.
It has been a long time, creature of evil. Seems your lust has distracted you. Well, my sisters and I will make sure you don't escape tonight. This is the last time you will ever taint a virgin.
Gretchen pushed past her lover to confront the mofo superior.
I am no virgin, you frigid zealot. I offer my hot, vet Klatschtengruber to the king of the vampires willingly.
Flathead Kate threw logic at the killer with the killer bod. We had a possum with our car and it played dead, but no, it was dead.
What is a car?
Enough!
Spit flew from Sister Agnes's mouth, and her gnawed finger pointed at their target, the image making an inspirational screensaver for all Catholics.
Kill them! Destroy Satan's bullhunk and his disease-ridden trollop! Erase them, my holy badass sisters!
3 nuns rushed forward. The first nun raised a decorated cross and thrust it at Dracula. He covered his face.
You'll taste no more blood after tonight, vampire!
The middle nun flung holy water. Smoke shot from Dracula as he burned.
We clip your leathery wings, demon.
Flathead Kate waved a pinwheel.
Eat a bean for me, Billy.
Then the sudden rush of nuns overwhelmed Dracula. All seemed hopeless. But the secret sisterhood of the divine traveling yayas underestimated his companion. For she was no helpless victim, nor was she a vampire. She was Germany's #1 assassin, Gretchen Von Stroodlehymen. And she was madly in love with both Dracula and his wiener.
I am Germany's #1 assassin, Gretchen Von Stroodlehymen. And I am madly in love with both Dracula and his wiener.
Gretchen shoved Dracula behind her. Her spin kick sent nuns flying. She landed in a ready-to-strike-again pose that flexed her toxic femininity.
99 Dosenflieger, jeder war an großen Krieger, hielten sich für Captain Kirk. Das gab ein großes Feuerwerk.
The nuns backed off in confusion.
What did she say?
She speaks the devil's tongue.
Run away! Ew! She's Amish!
Allow me to speak in my perfect English. Your crosses and garlic do not affect me, you Waffe and wine harpies. And I know how to shatter your repressed and tortured rage.
Gretchen kicked the leader directly in the woo-woo. A spiked heel popping the lock of the Alpha Nun's Lady Gaga autographed chastity belt. The world went silent as the thick metal hit the ground. The sisterhood screamed in shock and awe. The mofo superior crumbled to the ground. Her face was drenched in fear, for she knew her exposed girl gate was all Dracula needed. Her nun squad dove on top of her to protect her virtue. The vampire pounced on the pile, inserting his suddenly swollen purple billy club of love into their carnivorous vulvasaurs.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you want some of this? Blah. How about you? Down there? Yeah, blah.
It had been too long since he took a flock of virgins, and the sisterhood was a smorgasbord of sloppy time. Gretchen's arms wrapped around his thrusting hips.
Dracula, we cannot waste this opportunity. We must escape now. Schnell, my lover.
The king of the undead knew his hero was right and disengaged from his trembling boink targets. He flashed his fangs at Sister Agnes, not to instill fear, but because he got little Vlad stuck in his zipper. Gretchen pushed him into the nearby alley. He stumbled away as she German suplexed a nun who tried to grab them. Another nun was hit with a blazing combination of punches. Gretchen's precise kick broke the wheel of an ox cart. It toppled, blocking the alleyway. She gracefully hurdled it, then sprinted to join Dracula. Sister Agnes lost her shit.
Don't let them get away, sisterhood. Bring me their heads.
Death to the unholy bloodsucker!
Tater-tots are done. Next time on Dracula's Winkee.
Will Dracula and his lover Gretchen Von Stroodlehymen escape the mofo superior and her rabid gaggle of nuns? We also share an adorable morning with BFF Juan. And Dracula faces a shortcoming no little blue pill can fix.
I have a blood flow problem, okay?
Brought to you by our sponsor, the Baba Yaga Steakhouse.
Baba Yaga.
The nightmarish hag from Slavic legend brings her love of cooking to the #1 family diner, Good Times, where friends, family, and even total strangers can come together, sometimes on the same plate. The Baba Yaga Steakhouse.
Baba Yaga.
Who you gotta cookin'?
Dracula's Winkee, the podcast series, is copyrighted by Gregory L. Hall. Written, produced, and directed by Gregory Hall and Griffin Hall. The Dracula's Winkee theme song is written, performed, and recorded by the godfather of goth rock, Bobby Style. All of the music is public domain. Now behave yourself, or Chardonnay Wafflehutt will date your mama.
It's the failure of a very small thing. Dracula's